picture. Every time you look at me, I get your different, so sweet and dangerous. You told me you're gonna show me the way to moonlight. Whoa, I wanna know the night is long. As I close my eyes with your hands that I'm holding, feeling alright on the clouds we're walking. I'll just keep falling, take me far away from here. In that moment when I'm looking away and I eat swallowed. Be rich in your hunger, in your hunger. Be rich, running faster, spreading faster. There's not another explanation. I can focus on you, I cannot focus on you. Turn me into lies. Swallow. Under my skin you fall. Smile with the pain to me clear. Darkness is bright to me clear. Keep focus on you, I keep my focus on you. Turn me into lies. Nothing to forget my attention. Seeing your love with temptation. You got me chained on my wings, got me locked in your touch, and you know I'm addicted. Girls got a situation, tired of it, a chain in. See the beauty in the pain, now you bite me. Empty on myself, and I wanna be you. I just want you to control, I don't wanna see you, let me go. I'm not even afraid to burst into the flames. Hold me tighter than ever before. Let me fall away. This is what I say, and I'm getting it enough. Got love. Be rich in your hunger, in your hunger. Be rich, running faster, spreading faster. There's not another explanation. I can't focus on you, I cannot focus on you. Turn me into lunch. Got us captured in the dance of your mysterious fairies. Take us to a different paradise and feel as alive. Just let's get us stuck. Never transcend your touch. Here we go. Where the bitch say?
Be rich in your hunger, in your hunger. Be rich.
Let's draw me and you in this night. Coming closer, coming over to go inside. I'm too lost in your love, made to be with you. Don't look back in fear. Can't focus on you, I cannot focus on you. Turn me into lies.
Good evening and welcome back to the Dwarven Fortress of Keskalokil, where everything is strangely calm by the sea at the moment. Well, I mean, there are still waves on the sea, obviously, but no one has let the sea into the fortress for months now. Well, weeks at least. We haven't encountered any weird monsters, well, apart from the forgotten beast down in the caverns, but we keep that locked in the caverns for safety. And our attempts at getting tribute from other civilizations have so far entirely led to the other civilizations saying, OK, we'll send you some tribute then. And we don't have a shortage of food. We haven't had
Yet any record of tribute arriving?
No. I think they're lying, but I don't actually think they're lying. I think the tribute will turn up eventually because it's meant to turn up once a year, and I think they like have a year or so to get their cat together. But I expect there will probably be tribute in due course. And we've got... Who are we being sent tribute by anyway? We're being sent tribute by one bunch of elves and one bunch of goblins, aren't we? Yes. Does this tell us when they send it? No, it claims we have no agreements, even though we obviously have an agreement. We have an agreement for them to send us tribute. What I actually want is for them to send us trade caravans, but like tribute will be nice as well. So yes, it appeared that we can't get tribute from places we're actually at war with, but we could get tribute from from other places. So a thing, I think one thing we might try to do, and that I didn't try to do last time, is to actually occupy one of these, either raise or occupy one of the nearby goblin pits. And like, it looks like Elder Ghoul may actually be on the coast, like we are. Admittedly, our square is actually officially in the sea, where theirs is officially on the land. So, like, I'm going, is it worth occupying the place? Is it like going to be a useful place? Is the game going to care? I don't think I think because it's a Goblin Pits, I can't then end up playing as that place anyway. And I think if we send someone to occupy, there's a slight... The consequence will be that the people we send to do the occupying will then stay there. But I think we can summon most of them back. Except possibly the leader. I can't remember the precise rules. Possibly we should make our particularly unhappy adult dwarf into the leader of the squad that we send to occupy the remote site. That might be a reasonable thing. If we send one squad, because last time they met three military goblins in Elder Ghoul. So if we were to make our... We have one particularly unhappy civilian adult dwarf, as I recall. Tobal Doranfesh is, miserable. I mean, Mosul Avuzlular is not very happy. Of course, we don't want to send anyone who can swim. But oh yes, Mommers, are you in the correct group for being a swimmer? Yes. So you shouldn't go because you can swim. I should probably check through all the members of any squad I do send to make sure that none of them can swim.
There are no swimming hazards between here and there that they need to do?
No. Well, I mean, there is a lot of sea, but even though the map shows them routing over the sea,
They actually go round.
yes. Bah, surely a necromancer isn't inconvenient. Can get a necromancer on your side. Well, okay, they're inconvenient, but not much more than inconvenient. And probably quite useful as well. Anyway, yes, so Tobal Doranfesh, my least happy adult dwarf, is also I think actually that one's led by someone who can't... Can I... If I do that, am I changing the leader of the group? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Well, I want Tobal Doranfesh to ideally be the one who stays there. I'm now going, can I actually change the leader? But surely I have done. Let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down to Bomrek Ogba. 7, 8, 9, 10. So yes, the top one must be the squad leader. Which one is Tobal Doranfesh in, anyway? Because we could send that squad, but with him promoted to lead it temporarily. By which I mean permanently, kind of. He is in the Wanderers of Tongs. Ah, right, yes, of course, I've got 3 non-swimming squads, and I was looking at the first 2, because I'm a stoat. So I can promote Tobal Doranfesh to position 1. Check that the rest of them can't swim. Asen Nish something. Is that the only squad that's... I mean, at least it's a squad that's currently live, yes. Them and the Waters of Twinkling. So I could just look through here for dwarves that are marked, that are in military appearance. And then go, right, actually, can I, no, can I take the Waters of Twinkling's, adjust the Waters of Twinkling's schedule temporarily to take them off duty? Right, and then they will stop being marked as military in the list, I think. Yes, what few of them exist. So now anyone who is marked as military in the unit list is a member of the Wanderers of Tongs. So now we can go through them one at a time and see if any of them can swim. Because if they can, then we should remove them from the Wanderers of Tongs. So the first one can't. Or the second. This is slightly faffy. Might be a better way. Nor the third. They've never tried swimming at all. Look, we have a swimming pool for you. Or the fourth. Fifth. Two, three, four, five. Sixth. We don't want the other there, Ben. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seventh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eighth. Six, 7, 8, 9. Ninth, or should now be one more. Tobal Doranfesh himself, who obviously can't swim because we wouldn't be trying to do this to him if he could. Right. So we should be able then to take that slot and hand it. Can we promote Tobal Doranfesh to that slot? Or do we have to take him out of his current slot first? Maybe we do. Okay, well. Right. Yes, he is a novice fighter. I'm sure he'll be fine. Right. So now Tobal Doranfesh is in charge of the Wanderers of Tongs, and thus is probably the one that will be left behind. We have to leave behind as the occupying force if they're occupying. Right. So now let us. What strange things are going on here? I wonder. Let's send them to the Dark Goblin Pits of Elderghoul. Conquer and occupy. We will send only the Wanderers of Tongs. I think we can get most of them back. And if we can't, well, we'll train more soldiers. It's not like they can swim. That's the critical thing. Right. So, the Wanderers of Tongs have now been assigned to seize Eldergool. Will we get any message off them when they succeed or fail, I wonder? Do they just disappear if they... well, either, really. So when we get a chance, we should buy some parchment, because it's slightly embarrassing that our library doesn't have any, or at least much. It does now have a box to put it in. And like we have a scholar and a scribe. Yes. But we don't actually appear to have anything to write on. Oops.
What you should be able to do at this point is make wax tablets.
Yes, we really should.
Yes.
Given the sheer quantity of wax we've got. That's definitely within the tech level available. But no, apparently dwarves will only write on paper and parchment.
Stones.
Yes, and obviously they should be, if nothing else, using wax tablets to learn to write.
Yes. But also, you know, until quite late on, even paper's quite expensive because you need to
Yes.
mass production.
There's a reason why I plan to buy the stuff and not make it.
Yeah, and so you don't take notes on paper. You
Yes.
certainly don't take notes on parchment for the most part. You might annotate the book that you read. But otherwise, you're taking notes on slates or wax tablets and things like that because they're cheap.
Seb says, open a wax museum. I don't think you can make wax figurines. I don't think you can make wax statues. Obviously, you should be able to make wax statues. Anyway, why is there a sock in this bookcase? Oh, it's a shoe in the bookcase. Even so, right. So another thing I think I want to do, other than buying some parchment when the traders are next in town, is to try to get down to that gold mining place.
Z-level 60 thing.
Z-level 60 thing, yes. Oh, there's someone actually coming to make a hole in that wall to let the water out. That's nice. Or rather, to let our ability to see things in or out, depending which way you think seeing works. So yes, there was some gold down on Z level 60 something, and we should get there in case the mayor asks for more things made out of rose gold. Actually a more or less clear pillar all the way down there. I think so, yes. So how does this stuff connect up to the rest of the map anyway? That staircase is our main one. So that's where we want to, I think we want to just make a staircase that goes down here, because it looks like that's pretty much safe. Is there any aquifer? I suppose there probably can't be aquifer-bearing rock facing onto the caverns, can there? Because if there were, it would be continuously pouring water into the caverns. So it must somehow be non-aquifer where it faces the caverns. I mean, yes, we are continuously pouring water into the caverns, hush. Right, anyway. So I think we should dig a tunnel to there. Well, not actually to there. Well, actually, yes, okay, to there. And then a staircase that just goes down. All the way to Z level minus 61. Where it will probably strike a vein of native gold. So it probably won't actually get there because it will pause briefly when it runs into an aquifer. Even though the aquifer is like apparently connected up to the caverns, but not dumping water down into the caverns. I don't understand that. What are you carrying that rock for? You're carrying a pile of copper nuggets for some reason, rather than using a wheelbarrow like a sensible person.
They're a dwarf. Not sensible.
Maybe a wheelbarrow was a long way away.
So how are those dwarves who are meant to be leaving the map to go and seize Elderghoul doing? Because my population number says they're still around. Oh, there they are. They're heading out in completely the wrong direction. Excellent.
Well, you think so. I mean, I think they have a pretty good sat nav once they get off the
Yes, yes. It's just, it appears to teleport them across the sea. Right, I think we just found, I should have looked at what that list of minerals was, rather than just closing it. I suppose it's probably in the logs. But our surveying attempt down here, which has, we hoped, not just washed a dwarf into the caverns. Looks like it hasn't.
Once being involved, we want to time all this out.
So now we can see quite a lot more of the caverns because we just constructed some fortifications there. And also those provide some drainage from this staircase, though I don't think it needs it now.
Speechless Mountains.
Yes, one of our dwarves is called Speechless Mountains.
Silent Hill.
Yes, it is in fact a silent hill. Thank you, Simon. What's the king mandating, I wonder? The king wants male shirts. Hmm?
The Queen Woman. That's who the King Man's dating.
Looks like, yes, there's plenty of kaolinite around if we want more kaolinite, isn't there? That's nice. Because we generally want more kaolinite. We should see if there's any shallow gold in this branch, of course. No, that's limonite. Limonite. Tiger eye, not to be confused with tiger iron. And limonite.
Not to be confused with lemonade.
Limonite. Lots of lovely limonite. More kaolinite. Native platinum? No, galena. So there's still bits of the caverns that we can't... Oh no, I was going to say the bits of the caverns we can't see. No, that's the edge of the map. We can never see those bits of the caverns. That, on the other hand, is a bit that's invisible simply because it's too far away. More galena, yes. Quantity of dead troglodytes with spatterings of forgotten beast blood around them, which is suspicious. The thing is, what I did was I carved fortifications into the side of the caverns, which means we can look out, but the Forgotten Beast... I think the only way you can pass through fortifications is by being pushed through them by water, and so the Forgotten Beast can't get in that way. There was a small danger that the water coming out from that that had come from the aquifer might have swept the dwarf out that was digging it. But since it was only 1 unit of water, I thought it was fairly safe. So I think unless the flooding in the caverns gets particularly severe, the Forgotten Beast can't get in. Though I can't currently remember whether this Forgotten Beast spits poison, so we might want to make it harder for it to get in a bit. All right, there's some native gold. Oh, on Z level -59. So yeah, more or less at the same kind of level as we've already found some native gold over here. We also start getting decent quantities of native gold over there. Basically where the bedrock turns to granite. Yeah, more or less. So yes, there's a kind of thing where when you penetrate the caverns, you can only see a certain distance from points where a dwarf has been. And so it's useful to penetrate, but the usual approach involves the dwarves going into the caverns and wandering around until they find them all. But if if you've, for instance, got a Forgotten Beast down there you would prefer not to encounter, you might just arrange to be able to see different bits of the... you might be able to see different bits of the caverns without having to actually enter them. And that's what I'm trying to do. So, yes, once that... So I think that was... Yes, there is some native gold, but it's at about the same Z level as the native gold we've already found. Oh, and we can see that there is not much connection between these two parts of the cavern down here, because the water on this side has not yet spread to that side. So that's some more native gold. Yes, there's some native gold there, which we would have to be particularly careful about mining because it's now deep underwater. Oh, and the water level is not at a whole number of blocks, so clearly we're still filling the caverns slowly. Well, no, my current plan is mostly to do what I did with the kaolinite and mine up to the edge of the caverns, but not actually into them, not actually penetrate them at that level. I mean, I probably will put one penetration into the caverns in order to see to survey more of it. One thing I might be able to do is I suppose I could actually just wall up behind the fortification on the grounds that I don't know if I have to be able to continue seeing down there. Not sure. Right, and the Wanderers of Tongs are slowly leaving the map. Rendered slightly complicated. There's Tobal Doranfesh with his orange downward arrow indicating how grumpy he is. Yes.
Do they send someone back to report?
I don't know.
Maybe you never find out if they succeeded.
Yes, I don't know how it will work when something does or doesn't happen there. Right, we get all these messages about items lost or destroyed, but we do still seem to be making mead and filling up yet more jugs with royal jelly. So I think something works in our beekeeping. I just don't quite know what it is. Right, well, we've made one rock nest box at least. No. No. Yes. Let's install that because we clearly have more birds than we have nest boxes at the moment, or at least we have. at least as many birds as we have nest boxes, and indeed it looks like there's one bird wandering around and all of the nest boxes are occupied. There is a question of why all the nest boxes still have eggs in them, which I think is part of with the whole we have far too much food situation. I'm no longer buying food. I think we may possibly be harvesting too much of it from the from outside. Here is a dwarf harvesting, probably. No, it's a dwarf dumping. What are you dumping? Oh, you're dumping a dog. Yes. Whose skeleton is mangled, which suggests there might have been some encounters with some enemies there. Steph asks, do eggs hatch? Yes. Is that someone's head? Yes. Yes, it looks like it is. Eggs, if fertilised, will eventually hatch. The mother will generally sit on the egg until it does. This used to be a bit of a problem for elk birds because they could actually starve to death while incubating their own eggs. This did eventually get fixed, and I think when I finally managed to breed elk birds, it was partly because elk birds had been made slightly easier to breed, i.e. they didn't need to graze quite so much. But still, it was quite a triumph managing to breed elk birds in one of my earlier fortresses, and I thus have an official crayon drawing of an elk bird hatching out of an egg watched over by a dwarf as my reward for contributing to dwarf fortress development. But, of course, if someone goes and swipes the eggs, as this child has, in order to, well, the child is probably just collecting them up in order to stick them in a barrel somewhere, but someone will eventually cook them, then they don't hatch. So the other thing you need to do, other than ensure that the mother stays with the eggs, is to ensure that no one goes and eats the things. It looks like in general we are collecting eggs now. So possibly we found some space for storing some eggs. So, yes, that's all looking happy. We have far too much food, far too much drink, far too much soap, which is nice. Right. Well, we've got 2 bars of soap in the hospital and that's it. We now have lots of soap everywhere, which ideally should mean that all of my dwarves have happy thoughts about soapy baths. So, possibly not. He says, glancing at one who is much more interested in surgery and making friends than soapy baths. Which is reasonable, really. Is this by any chance that you've got some new socks? Oh dear, your vest is pretty worn out, isn't it? We should make some more vests, since apparently some people like them. But yes, oh right, no, you just have some excellent... Oh yes, you do. You have a Masterworks sock, which I'm sure is making you very happy. Looks like our Leatherworks is currently idle. Well, let's make some leather vests then. The Wanderers of Tongs have returned. That was quick. I should possibly wait for them to all arrive on the map before I start asking them, before I start debriefing them. It seems polite. Which direction are they going to arrive from? That's cat and is not relevant. Assuming, like, Yes, they are. They are turning up on the map somewhere. Oh, there they are. Right, good. Only back up to 199. That's slightly worrying. How did it go? Oh dear, cunning plan. Defenders had a strong positional advantage. Goblin Ceci never helpful. Possibly Tobal Doranfesh was not a good leader for this job. We don't need to know about the individual lost toes.
That was the only Dwarves' only victory so far.
No, they killed someone, I think. The Goblin Lubam Right Bride was struck down by the Dwarf Kilob Spellrax. And Ceci Never Helpful was struck down as well. So I think officially we didn't win.
Yeah, it looks as if they held their own and went back.
Yes. So it does seem that it matters who you put in charge of one of these missions. So possibly we should rearrange things again so that we have someone competent in charge, even if that might mean that we don't get to lose our extremely grumpy dwarf. Is he still extremely grumpy, or has this reset his grumpyometer? Nope, still extremely grumpy. Now complaining about the fact that it's raining. We should possibly try to remove that dead blind cave ogre from the river, but it's quite difficult. Apparently no emotions about the failure to take Elder Ghoul, other than being grumpy about coming home in the rain. So I think Dwarves' approach to socks is simply that they never match them. I mean, socks are made in pairs. Like there were 2 Masterwork socks just produced, I think. The gloves don't seem to be being made in matched pairs of brilliance. Right, we need to appoint 2 new members of the Wanderers of Tongs anyway, to compensate for the 2 we lost. We won't have One Hand Omris knock him, because One Hand, if he loses the other one in a fight, that will be really bad. So the rest are not actually, for the most part, very good at what they do anyway. So let's take the ones who are not good at things other than doctoring. and grab that one and that one. So maybe we should send a group of more competent soldiers to try to do the same job, namely the cobalt tongs. And we could demand the surrender first and see if they will simply surrender. Yeah, go on. Send the cobalt tongs. I think we are making infinite socks and perhaps we should slow down. Right, there are quite a lot of socks in this barrel. Bin, whatever. We are also, at least notionally, making cloth gloves as well. Or an option for like, I don't think that. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. It's not very hard to add more. Let's make some nice woolen vests, since someone had a very worn out vest on. I am also making some leather vests, of course. Oh well, it'll be fine. As long as we have enough yarn. Oh, and there was a head here that probably wants to go on a... There's a bauxite pedestal. Let's inspect that head. Yes. Zon Ampxuen. Their head is lying around and clearly wants to be on a pedestal. Right. Since it has now rotted away adequately. Someone complained about a Monera body corpse, which suggests there's a stray cat stuck in that tree. That's marked for dumping. I think just no one can get into that tree without a stepladder. We could build a staircase up into that tree, couldn't we? That would be fairly simple to do. What do I make? Do I usually make the staircases into the trees out of blocks? Yes, I do, right. What are we doing with wood? We're making more barrels. Yeah, that's probably okay for now. We got some more nest boxes to install. Turn that on so that we can keep placing them. No, we've only got one anyway. So there was a Monera corpse, was there? That someone I was checking on was apparently upset. Oh yes, there's a Monera corpse. Or skeleton. Well, let's dispose of that. Right, and now, is that child unhappy about having that experience? Nope. I was wondering if carrying dead goblin bits around might make them unhappy. But no, didn't feel anything after seeing a goblin's dead body, but is satisfied after putting a piece on display. Indeed, generally seems to be a relatively cheery child. Oh, we have a buzzard that is that's coming after some of our livestock. Well, that's fine. We don't need it anyway. The livestock's mostly there to spot sneaky goblins. Yes, apparently putting heads on spikes, or at least on pedestals, doesn't just frighten the goblins, it also cheers up the people who put the heads on the pedestals. Oh dear, I think a water buffalo may have got into the wrong place. Yes. What was a water buffalo doing down there anyway? Okay, is a surgeon now fighting with the buzzard? Yes. Where's that happening? Here. Can we follow the buzzard and see what it's up to? Oh, there are many buzzards apparently. This one is seriously injured though. That too. I think it's there, yes. The buzzard appears to have started wrestling the rabbit. Then got charged by the rabbit. Somehow managed to grab the rabbit using its wing. Right, and then the surgeon came in to defend the rabbit. And yes, this was not good for the buzzard, which I suspect may have lost the ability to fly. So, despite being enraged, may not actually be able to accomplish very much. And has died now. But if we're organised, we'll take it inside and butcher it. Yes, indeed. Right, we've made some masterwork woolen vests. I'm sure that's helpful. I think we're in a fairly temperate climate here. Like, it never freezes in the winter. And like this is desert, albeit I think fairly temperate desert. Badlands. Yes. Like, I think, given that we've got blatant ice up here, albeit that we can't really see that at the moment, but the ice of moons is up there. I think that's the pole, and I think that means the south edge of the map is roughly equatorial, and we're about halfway between them. We have struck Grey Chalcedony. Does that mean we're... Yes, we're heading slowly downwards. I should watch that because we'll eventually strike water there. Or at least we should do. We don't actually appear to have had a message telling us that we've struck water, but So we'll probably have to redesignate that staircase quite a few times. Mute Steph. So we don't seem to have anyone coming to dig that next section of mine, which is annoying. My main miner is drinking. Good, we're producing more plaster. And generally nothing very surprising is happening at the moment. Oh, let's check that that setting of the... 'cause last time I tried to reset the population cap downwards. It has stayed set correctly, right, good. It's not a complete mess. Oh yes, we probably need to make some things for our nuisances, don't we? Mail shirts and picks. Have we got enough steel to make a steel mail shirt yet? How is that entire area going? It's under bars, Ben, not under steel. Bars. Because like I can make a copper mail shirt, but that would be pointless. Yes, we can make at least one. We can make 2 steel mail shirts, I think. That will get some of what the king wants. And also mean that we have... Let's just set that to... that's the yarn vest, Ben. Let's set that to 3. And we can't make the 3rd one yet, but like eventually it'll become possible. And you want more picks. We don't need more picks. I'm going to make them out of copper. Which we generally get by melting down goblin armour. How is our melting industry going? Still got this, still getting jobs for making billion bars. Why? Why are those getting scheduled on that smelter? It's only meant to be used for melting things, that smelter. That smelter should be used for other purposes, and indeed is being used for making pig iron. That one is being used to make coke, which then supplies our other industries. Takes quite a long time just to lug the flux stone across from this stockpile, doesn't it? I should have probably made them even closer together. Right, well, we've made some yarn vests, so I think we're now making infinite yarn vests, which may not be the best move. Let's just do my usual thing of pick a few dwarves and see what their clothes look like. Well, your clothes are all good apart from your tunic, which is a bit worn. Yours all look pretty good. Your trousers are a bit worn. Oh yes, we should allow... We had a comment that maybe some of the dwarves would prefer to wear skirts when in the army. Obviously we can't reconfigure the Cobalt Tongs because they're off seizing Elder Ghoul. But we could perhaps work out how to amend the uniform so that rather than requiring leather trousers, or is it trousers? I think it may even be leather trousers, we could actually require any leg wear. We could possibly require leather leg wear, but we do have a small amount of metal leg wear around. If we go new leg wear, we could then just say leg wear in general. So we can set the material, and we could thus say metal or leather, or be more specific about precisely what leather. But I don't think I actually want to do that. This will be standard armour number 4. And now you're going to spend a while working out what you should wear now. You may actually not... All right, there we go. So what have you decided to wear? You've gone for some steel chain leggings because we happen to have them around. So can I now just go assign uniform standard armour number 4 to the entire squad? Yes. Then they immediately all get confused about what they're meant to be wearing and think for a bit. And then pick some things. And like that means that many of them have picked the various sets of steel chain leggings that we have lying around. Indeed, we seem to be quite well off for steel chain leggings. And some greaves and some more leggings and some more greaves. And in fact, you lot are all going to be wearing metal leg wear, aren't you? Bronze chain leggings, not so good. Bismuth bronze chain leggings, well, they'll do. So you're currently all on standard armour number 3. So we can upgrade you lot to standard armour number 4 as well. They all seem to be going for chain leggings. We've got quite a lot of spare chain leggings around, it looks like. Okay. Well, how about our amphibious squads then? You're all on standard armour number 3. Let's move you to standard armour number 4. Yes, resorting to leather leggings, which is still officially armour at least. Rather than just random leg wear. And well, we'll sort out the Cobalt Tongs when they come back. The pits of Elder Ghoul, far to the north, has been captured and incorporated into your holdings. Right, what does that mean then? Eh?
Well, that is a question.
Also, damp stone located. So, one thing it means is that Eldergool is now the dark dwarven pits of Eldergool. It has far more people than it used to have. I have a button that says click to request workers. Possibly I want to get myself a messenger now. Right, so I can ask for any of these people to come back. Why don't you list these in order of reducing competency rather than whatever the hell order you're currently listing them in? Anyway, so let us appoint a messenger. Well, you don't seem to have much of a role at the moment. You can be our new messenger. So then, yes, we can then request many of the... Oh, did we have a report from them about how that went? Yes. Seize Eldergool. Right, how did it go? They surrendered. Right. We didn't have to fight them at all. We just turned up and said, "Oi, can we have this territory?" And they said, "Okay, yes."
I mean, they'd only barely driven off the last lot, and the second lot show up fresh, and they go,
Yes.
yeah, actually.
So can I now just get back all of the legendary surgeons, but also I mean, you're a legendary fighter, which is a rather generic thing. Legendary hammer dwarf, legendary swords dwarf. I feel we should have these guys back. I mean, I suppose they might be necessary to defend it, but the wiki suggested that never actually matters. Dabbling axe dwarf, what are you good at? Nothing that we care about. Similarly, the one who was just a legendary fighter seemed a bit weird. If they weren't in my imagination, because I can't find them now. So we can now send Shores Braided Steel to go and... I seem to have 3 make requests of Eldergool quests. Let's turn those 2 off because they have no one assigned to them. Oops, did I just delete the remaining one? No, good. Right, so... Right, is anyone going to pick up this? Yes, someone is picking up this buzzard corpse. Good. Oh, and meanwhile, down on Z level minus 60 something, 50 something. We need to keep digging before this place. Oh, there's so much bituminous coal here that the aquifer can't actually leak into my staircase. That's nice. Right, it's going to take us a little while to get through that bit. Someone is coming down to do it though, so. Oh! Who are the kind portals? Those aren't my. That's the new government at Eldergool, isn't it? Yes, the kind portals is Eldergool. So so yes, Id Ragtreaties, who I think I asked to come home, has said no. I'm going to become the administrator of the kind portals.
After a polite discussion.
Yes. It probably didn't involve axes.
I don't know. I think a polite discussion just doesn't involve using axes. Perfectly allowable to brandish them.
While we're here, let's, at a slightly lower priority, provide some minor distraction
It's like when children are playing nicely. It doesn't actually mean they're being nice. It just means no one's bleeding.
on the grounds that if we set a bit of low priority mining up here, then our miner will nip up and do the low priority mining rather than going all the way up to the surface when they abandon this digging. And that way, when we provide some high priority staircase construction down here, they will come back and do it. We hope reasonably swiftly. Right, and now we have penetrated the aquifer. Which means we should probably mark the walls that will leak water for smoothing to discourage them from leaking water. That level, I think, should not leak water because that's the only actual aquifer bearing stone around. So now we can keep on going down, 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 down through impervious rock and seeing what else we find down there. Graphite. How helpful. Right, we've made 3 steel mail shirts and thus the king is probably quite happy. No, the king's like that. This is the thing, they keep the people who want us to make things have us make things that we then aren't allowed to export. So we end up with a vast surplus of picks. I mean, at least mail shirts are things that we can actually equip people with. Let's follow this and watch the mining as we go deeper and deeper. Jason discovers the bit in the wiki about how useful graphite is as a place to keep a fire, as a thing for keeping a fire alight. Yes, if there were a sensible way to make fire, then I would love to have my my rubbish dump actually incinerate things, but it's so hard to light anything Like, you basically need magma to do it, at which point you've got magma. Why are you bother with fire after you've got magma? Okay, there is a bit of water here. Right, we've now reached the bottom of my intended mine shaft because we have found some native gold. So let's mark that bit for mining. And we can probably safely mark that bit for auto mining. But there is a small danger that will turn out to loop all the way around here and allow us to penetrate the caverns, which will be embarrassing. Oh, actually, let's mark that section for slightly higher priority mining so that we actually get into it. The ageless inks have returned somewhat. Well, I mean, I did summon them back. Did summon some of them back anyway. We might want to work out how they're organised now and whether we need to remove the people who haven't come back. Right, so now what we can do is smooth that bit of native gold wall there. Actually, no, that feels wrong. Cancel that. Smooth. If we smooth that bit, then it won't get confusing. Smooth that patch of wall there, and in fact, that patch of wall there, and then we'll mark those for turn those into fortifications, and then we'll be able to see out into the caverns. At some point someone will also come down and smooth those bits of aquifer if they haven't already. Right, they're already working on that so as to prevent too much more water coming into this staircase. But it would be helpful to be able to have it drain away as well. Aha, here is someone smoothing. And this is a nice gold vein that wanders off away from the caverns. Right, so now we can mark that for fortification. The blood's probably washing down the staircase in some inconvenient way, isn't it? We can mark that for fortification. We've struck galena while mining gold, which, yes, is I think not that unusual. And once this is turned into fortifications, we'll suddenly be able to see a bunch more of the caverns. bang, there it is. So it doesn't actually show us very far horizontally. But it does show us a bit more cavern at least. You can see if there's any more gold around, and indeed we can see down to the water. We can see slightly more of the water, and indeed we can see that the water that we're pouring into the caverns is spreading. Got about 5Z levels before the water comes up to the point where it actually would flood this section of mine. So possibly we should start making some green glass windows to, or similar, to put over those fortifications to make sure the flood waters can't get in, even if it does flood up to that level. Why is the cat fighting? Have you got run down by a minecart again? You have. Stoat. Stop getting run down by minecarts, cats. Right. Oh, it's a new season. It is early autumn. Wonder if we get any interesting things arriving in autumn. I think we should work out what's going on with our ageless inks and maybe fire the odd member of them and appoint some more. Oh, right, the cat's a fairly high level. Pause. The annual tribute from Kiffydale has arrived. Right, it looks like the cat is somewhere safe, so that's okay. Oh yes, I took one of my squads off training, didn't I? Merely in order to make it easier to select the others. Let's put them back on staggered training again. So let's find the tribute caravan. We have an actual elf turning up with our tribute. A medium-sized creature dedicated to the ruthless protection of nature. And she is carrying a grown hazelwood cage. Is that our entire tribute? Really? One wooden cage. I mean, it's better than nothing. I believe if we actually got a proper elven caravan with the diplomat, they would start having opinions about trees. Masterpiece goose egg roast. Right, and the elf has left the tribute. A report is available on the tribute. Hang on. Oh, right. Yes. 1 hazelwood cage. Thank you. Like, we don't have a shortage of cages. I'll sell it to someone probably. And the elf leaves in a different direction for extra confusion. But maybe they'll send some a trade caravan in the spring. That would be nice. Now that they know we exist. Okay, we are actually out of cut gems again. There is a... oh no, there isn't a task attached to that buzzard corpse anymore. Well, let's dump it then. So that it doesn't lie around rotting. Yes, I'm not entirely surprised the cat died. It had been run down by a minecart. Who's this unhappy dwarf? Oh, it's Tobal Doranfish learning how to swim. Excellent. Keep it up. It will probably make you happy if you learn how to swim. Let's see how the gold mine is going. Right, we have reached the end of the gold mine, but that's a decent amount of gold. We will not be short of it. So while we're down here, we could quickly grab some gems. So there is water leaking in, but like at worst it'll pour out through those fortifications. I'm mostly looking for gems because we've just run out of cut gems, so it seems reasonable to carefully mine the ones we can immediately reach. Obviously we have to be careful not to actually penetrate the caverns while doing so. There we go. Right, so the Ageless Inks were the ones who we sent off to capture the thing. Oh, and all of their members have returned. Excellent. Oh, maybe it was the cobalt tongs we sent. We have now no cobalt tongs. Right. Except that quite a lot of the members have returned. So let's stick someone legendary who doesn't have any other major role in as squad leader. All of our other highly competent people as most of the rest of the members, and then some people who don't appear to have any interesting skills in the other slots so that they can learn. That wasn't the button I meant. Right. So there's now a bit of mining going on there that will improve, that will get us a few more gems. Like probably we could find more if we cared. Mostly I wanted to make sure we had a slight supply of gold in case we needed it, which did involve digging down quite a long way. I could probably actually, now I look at it, usefully go around there and then see if we can get some more of that side of the vein. Yes, there is still water dribbling down here, but that's fine. We have drainage for now. I think I'll start worrying about blocking off the fortifications once we're within like a couple of Z levels of the water surface. But the water is now pouring out down there. So it's possible it's escaping from the map. We could, I suppose, like try to get over here and make another fortification, have a look this way, but no, I don't think it's worth it. I wanted to get some gold. I don't have many other reasons to be down here. Okay, is this actually the end of this gold seam? Oh, the gold vein, not quite. But very close. Right, well, that actually got us a bit of gold. Right. We still have a stupidly generous quantity of food and drink, etc. In general, things are going well, even if Tobal Dorenfesh continues to be unhappy despite riding in a minecart. I mean, he's satisfied at his pushing minecarts around. Might one day become a decent swimmer. He's currently mostly a high mast beekeeper. Hang on, I've appointed one-hand thingamy to the army. See, good reason for giving them that name. They're not allowed to be in the army, though. Oh, a goblin snatcher has turned up. There'll probably be more of them in a moment. Where is it? There. Kill. Might take them. Oh, there's a second one. There are only 2 of you turned up this time. I should work out where Grotto Glove's dead body is and do something with it. We'll get round to killing you eventually, don't worry. If you don't do something sensible like leave the map. Right. All being well, that's dealt with all of the... yes, only 2 of them arrived. And, like, I rather suspect that the goblin thieves got killed pretty quickly as soon as they got caught. Yes, that was... Oh, we got a spare head. Excellent. Goblin thieves' heads also get put on pedestals. Build a new pedestal for that one. I think the thing about cloth bags is that they are not nearly so prone to... sorry, but Justin said, wonders if the Goblin's child bags have "this is not a toy" embroidered on them in Goblin, Dwarvish, etc. I think the thing about cloth bags is that you don't tend to get suffocated if you play with them. You just get stolen.
Like this cloth bag.
Thank you. That's a very nice cloth bag.
Okay.
I don't know that I have a use for it,
I
but
found it in the box room.
you're not fighting, you're standing up. It's an incredibly boring activity and I keep trying to turn it off. I mean, not turn off standing up, but turning off us getting told about your standing up. Oh, that... Yes, there's that Monera skeleton which should be dumped. It's marked for dumping. Why has no one dumped it yet? There are presumably also 2 goblin corpses, which should be dumped, apart from the head. Which wants to be properly displayed in due course. There's the other goblin corpse got to. People seem to be being a bit lazy about dumping things at the moment. He says as now marking a thing for dumping gets it immediately gets it a task assigned to it. All right, I think I've done both of those teeth and I keep getting confused. I haven't done that tooth right, yes. That mutilated corpse. That ear we don't need either, that can't be used for anything. Jetton suggests somewhat unhelpfully that you should be able to mark dead edible creatures for dumpling. We still seem to be making a lot of... we're making ash, aren't we, in order to make... we're not making charcoal, we're making ash because we want to make soap. And we haven't quite reached the point of having such a stupid amount of soap that I'm actually going to stop us making more soap. Can't immediately find the spare goblin head, but I'm sure it'll turn up. It'll be more obvious once it's rotted down because it'll then become white. So who is like actually dumping these things? There's an enormous number of dump item jobs, but is anyone actually doing them? Maybe not. Okay, maybe that's what's going on. I mean, I don't mind that much. It'll happen eventually, I presume. You seem to have a bunch of like snails and ticks around down here. Do I need to assign a cat to that area just to keep them under control? Like we're apparently we've got a mussel bed, at least temporarily, forming in our corridor. Aha! Dwarven caravan has arrived. Right, we can buy some parchment from them. Do the usual thing of finding bins that look interesting. If it contains billen jugs, we'll sell it. I'll sell the contents anyway. Anything worn out in here or not dwarf size? Is it just, that's just the big bin of socks, isn't it? We're trying not to sell our new socks. Though admittedly that is a very valuable bin full of socks. That's another bin full of socks. That one's full of excitingly decorated socks. Oh, we do have a bin full of vellum. Why is that not in the library? I'm going to have to move that to the library somehow. More socks and gloves. Maybe that we've been accidentally just building socks recently. I do try to keep our trinket manufactory going. Oh, that's a trinket bin. Excellent. Wonder if we can currently sell chains. That's got at least some worn out clothing in it. Let's bring that up. It doesn't seem to have anything we'd want to sell. Oh, possibly we actually have to assemble scrolls out of vellum and scroll rollers, don't we, before anyone can write on them? Which I'm not sure is the correct order, but still. We should go through our armour stocks and mark all sorts of things for melting, shouldn't we? There is lots here that we don't actually want, like everything made of copper, everything that's badly worn. So while I don't plan to sell the contents of that bin, I should probably melt quite a lot of it down. That's got at least some leather armour in it. We don't really want leather low boots. That one's got some leather in it as well. We'll bring that up as well. All the bill and jugs in that bin are empty. That's another sock bin. Let's not bother looking through precisely what's in it. That's got at least some worn leather armour in it. It's got at least some bill and chains in, which we're apparently currently allowed to sell. Ditto that. I think I made a bunch of chain in case I needed it for the swimming pool, and then we didn't use a lot of it. Right, well, that's some stuff being brought up here. I might have to sell some socks in order to get adequate. There's our moody dwarf. Might have to sell some socks to get adequate money. Well, I hope you will be less unoccupied now as you convert gypsum and a beak dog beak and what on earth have you decided to go and collect now? Seb asks, is this dwarven caravan from the goblin place you just took over? I don't think so, no. I think it's like from our parent civilizations in general. Thank you, Jacob, who has just written. You're just putting things in the chat that I have to read in order to annoy me, aren't you? How much beak would a beak dog beak if a beak dog beak? Which is not a very helpful question, really. Right, and some copper. Merchants are unloading things. I'd quite like to watch this dwarf get his strange mood properly underway, so I don't accidentally let him go mad. Seb points out I don't usually read the drivel out. It's true. The corridor is so crowded that the oh, we were planning to put another door next to that door, weren't we? Slightly tricky placing things while you're watching a dwarf moving around. Oh, increase in population. Datan Lolorest surgeon has given birth to a girl. Right, and mysterious construction underway. Good. So, let us ask our broker to come to the trade depot, please. Oh, there's a stray water buffalo bull corpse somewhere unhelpful. Let us dump that. Not that anyone seems to be dumping anything at the moment. All right, the trade caravan hasn't actually fully arrived yet. There's still a camel walking up there. We are making more bill and jugs in order to compensate for the ones I keep selling. Ooh, the tetrahedrite stockpile appears to be empty. Does that mean we've... Yeah, there was a lot of it there, and that all seems to have gone now. Plenty of magnetite in that square. Let's have a look at our stockpile. We may be out of tetrahedrite, and I might need to mine some more, owing to my habit of turning tetrahedrite into bill and jugs, which I then fill with royal jelly and sell to people. It's kind of weird that we have a large stockpile of a large stock of limonite, because I don't really remember deliberately mining it, but maybe I did. Oh no, we have plenty of tetrahedrite somewhere. All right, yes, there's that, which is technically a stockpile. Right, yes, we should de-stockpile that area, because that was only stockpiled in order to clear the water out of this area. Maybe that's why. Did I see someone lugging some tetrahedrite from far too far away? I suspect that might be why. So now there's probably a bunch of jobs to move items into the tetrahedrite stock. Well, there's some at least. Right. Greetings from the outer lands. Your efforts are legend there. Let us trade. I mean, we could buy some actual rose gold, but frankly, we'll probably be able to make our own now. Carry on buying wood. I like buying wood. Oh, we can fold up these sections, can we? That's nice. So I can go, don't want any of your stone. Don't want any of your alleged gems, or your blocks, or your cut gems, or I think any of your bars. I've now bought all of your logs, or at least asked to buy all of your logs. Is there anything else we need? We're insanely well off for booze, and it comes in a wide variety of flavours. I mean, we'll take a steel battle axe. And probably a silver warhammer's worth having as well. They're nice and heavy. And a silver mace. Don't think steel picks allow you to get through walls any faster, through rock any faster than iron ones. But don't buy picks, Ben. We already can't export them. Don't really want. It's not worth buying shields in steel. You haven't brought any steel, much by way of steel armour. That's a bit disappointing. We seem to be growing rock nuts fast enough to keep up an adequate supply of soap. So we don't need any more rock nuts. We can continue buying cloth and leather though, like, I really don't know whether we... Okay, we can't apparently fold up those each bin. I don't know whether we actually need any more cloth and leather. I could perhaps check before I buy it all. How about we don't buy the cloth and leather yet and check how our stocks are? Though that is harder than it should be. You don't need sceptres or bolts or rings or such like, because we make our own. We don't need your meat. We have more than enough food, even if it is all fruit and eggs. We'll have a pair of steel chain leggings though. Steel is still a bit of a pain to make. We've already got a copy of Pathways to Burning. We might not have the others. I'll have your elk parchment choir. Right, let's see what we can sell to accomplish this. I would love to sell you this bin full of stuff, but the mayor says I can't sell bins, so instead you have to take all of the individual items out of the bin. Amazing how many bracelets you can make out of a beak dog, though. I mean, I presume these codices might actually have something interesting in them. I'm not sure. We'll have all your sheet as well. Selling off things that are worn or too large for dwarves, mostly. Right. We could get a spare copy of Pathways to Burning, since they've got it and we have plenty of stuff to sell. Oh, we can't sell crowns, of course. Export of crowns is forbidden. Tempting to sell more things than we need to sell, but trade, right. So now let's check what's going on down here. Like, how many of these bins are still full? Essentially all of the bins around the leather workshop are full, or at least contain something. I think we would probably benefit from about 5 bins of cloth. So now we sell a lot of worn clothing. Will do. Still have spare bill and jugs full of royal jelly. Right, so I think that's probably everything we want from this trade caravan. So if I look up armour, right, I can tag things for melting here, can't I? The question is, where are these breastplates that they're forbidden? If I'm going to melt them, I obviously want to find them first. If they're already forbidden, there might be a reason for that. So we should probably wait until some of these might be owned by the merchants' bodyguards, of course. Why is no one taking away the dead goblins? Have I accidentally screwed things up so that no one is willing to dump things? Refuse hauling is a thing assigned to the hauler's work detail. The hauler's work detail is set to everyone does this. Though children are currently not set to refuse hauling. So, I mean, I think people should be willing to dump things. But there's this pile of dump item jobs that don't have anyone assigned to them. And other jobs seem to be reasonably well provided for. So can I now mark the things that we've just bought as you can remove this? They appear in here. Doesn't look like it, that's confusing. Yes, there are aspects of this that I don't really understand in the new version yet. So one thing it occurs to me is that maybe I need to actually make some scrolls out of my sheet and scroll rollers. See, so that we actually have something to write on, because I don't think we can write on bare sheets. I think we have to convert the sheets into something more useful first. Let's add some repeating jobs for making some leather clothes. So I think I should set the conditions a lot higher than that. No, not trousers. So that we just do this if we have plenty. Oops. Only if we have plenty of materials. Oops, no, that's not what I meant. Condition. There are so many different kinds of clothing. Like, I don't know how many of them we actually have to make for people. Whether we can get away with like 4 different kinds of clothing in total. Why is no one dumping the things that want to be dumped? Is it just that there are more urgent hauling tasks available? Just quickly checking whether this person knows how to swim, which they do, and whether they're already in the military, which they are. What's that? Someone left their splint behind, yes. No reason why that needs to be forbidden, though. And I think given that we don't seem to be dumping things, let's, at the very least, mark the various stuff that those goblins brought with them as unforbidden. Oh, I think I've understood. No, that doesn't work. I was going to say, yes, this is a smelter. The reason why this one had a smelt billion for so long is actually it was only one job. But people were hauling the tetrahedrite up from miles away. Once we've actually got the tetrahedrite in, so they're now stuck. That's actually a pig iron one, which is probably all right. A user one doing it. No, you're making clay bricks. We should do something with some clay bricks at some point. We have Otung Thingamy, a gypsum what was it? Gypsum amulet, I think. Yes. This is a gypsum amulet. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality, but it only menaces with spikes of gypsum and beak dog bone and has an image of a giant dingo in copper. Thank you. I'm sure it's very nice, but it's not that valuable. So someone is melting a metal object. Who's melting a metal object? And where are why are they taking so long over it? You are hauling an iron helm from somewhere. You appear to be standing perfectly still somewhere. Where are you standing perfectly still? Where are you? Was it an interesting mandate that you ended? Was it the mandate not to sell bins? Yes. We can actually sell empty bins at the moment. Or indeed full bins. It's tempting just to reduce our stock of bins a bit. Though I'm slightly worried that I might also be making bins at the same time. I think those are the only empty bins I've got in the trade depot at the moment. Oh, we'll swap those for some tin bars. Right, well, that's got rid of 2 spare bins at least. Though, admittedly, I think that turns out that it's only that the trade restriction applies when they leave the map. So I don't actually want to might not want to risk selling bins right now. Right. Why is there a bit of dead goblin there? Like you, why don't you, if you're uneasy about being unable to acquire things, go and acquire a thing. We have zillions of bits of, or maybe are you not allowed to wear jewellery if you're in the military? Is that the problem? That might be a problem. Oh yes, we want to find the person who's meant to be melting metal objects. Are they still stuck somewhere up here? If so, I'm going to try to find them. Oh no, I think they are moving. She just had a thought too. Let's actually work out where this dwarf is. Oh no, you're there. Shorast Rigoth Fokker. Somewhere in the centre of the screen. Be nice if there were a convenient way to like highlight them rather than just you select them and they appear in the middle of the screen, but if you can't work out precisely where the middle of the screen is, I mean, there should be a dwarf somewhere who is not moving even though they obviously ought to be moving or something like that. Justin asked, does she have legs? I think so. I think we would have had an unable to stand note if she didn't. And like even legless dwarfs can move. Oh, she's now down in the meltery. Everything is happy again. Okay. That's fine. Right, whatever I was worrying about, it's not a thing worth worrying about. And metal objects are happily getting melted by someone who's even an adept furnace operator, which I think is the skill you need for this. And now she's going off to sleep. And as it is 23:57, maybe I should go off to sleep as well. I'm slightly sorry nothing very exciting has happened, but I did warn you it might. So Shorast Rigoth Fokker has taken herself to bed. We'll have a quick look at our new deep gold mine. The sealing off of the aquifer there doesn't seem to have gone very well. Make sure it really is marked for smoothing. It's not that much of a problem because the water will now run down to the deep gold mine and then pour out into the caverns. There isn't that much water down here. And yes, all the mining necessary has been done. Is someone moving the some tetrahedrite up to where it belongs? Yes. Well, okay. I say yes, no one actually is. But they'll think about it in due course once they've finished putting items in bins and whatever other stuff they're doing. Pink Bee says, we're just waiting for the forgotten beast to swim up to the fortress. Yes, I think you might be, if a fortification is completely flooded, it is possible for creatures to swim through them, if they can swim. My hope is the forgotten beast can't swim. But it'll be a while yet, because that fortification is still 5Z levels above the water. And the water does seem to be draining off the map over there. Possibly we should just confirm that at some point soon. By like digging an exploratory tunnel this way and probing things over there. Right, but for now, just as the surgeon that I was watching has gone to bed, so should I. And so I will find this button and this button and this button and say good night.